Tonight at approximately 8:40 p.m., patrol officers were dispatched to the 1100 block of Creeks Ridge to a report of a battery or an assault with shots fired. When they arrived on scene, they saw an individual armed with a long gun. I will let Chief Michael Paul give you the details on the shooting that took place.
Thank you, Undersheriff. As the Undersheriff said, the police did respond to this neighborhood this evening. What actually occurred was 911 was called by a neighbor because they heard a gunshot in the area. They walked outside to see what had happened, and they saw an individual in their garage with a rifle. The police arrived at approximately 8:45 and approached the house. They called out to the suspect and told him to drop the rifle. The suspect did. They called the suspect out to approach them. They took the suspect into custody. While they were taking the suspect into custody, the suspect's father appeared in the garage with a rifle. 3 officers shot at the suspect's father. The suspect's father then retreated back into the house. At this point, SWAT was called and a 3-hour SWAT standoff took place. Gas was introduced into the residence, and the father then worked his way to the back porch and he was taken into custody. He was suffering from a gunshot wound and was transported to a local hospital for treatment. The suspect who we have in custody who was transported, his first name is O'Farrow, and I'll spell that. That's O-F-F-E-R-O. And his last name is Manalon. It's M-A-N-A-L-O-N. Date of birth of 12/18/57. 3 officers who were involved in the shooting. M. Ross, R-O-S-S, ID of 86587. It is his second officer-involved shooting, and he has 3 years with JSO. Second officer is Q. Kincaid, K-I-N-C-A-I-D, ID of 83252. It's his first officer-involved shooting, 6 years with JSO. Third officer is G. Hernandez, H-E-R-N-A-N-D-E-Z, ID number of 82816. Second officer-involved shooting, and he also has 6 years with JSO. This is our second OIS of the year. The state attorney's office is on scene conducting their investigation as well. Any questions?
Can you tell me about the manner of when the suspect appeared in the garage with the rifle? Was it threatening manner? Did he fire any shots? Did he?
Yeah. So the first subject was taken into custody. He was holding the long gun. He put it down on the ground. As he was coming out to those officers, the father came into the garage, picked that rifle up, and pointed it at the officers. That's when they shot at him.
Do we know the circumstances of why the first shot went off?
The shot.
The initial shot that got you called.
We don't know. We believe, or the neighbors believe, their house had been struck by that gunfire. That investigation is still ongoing. We don't know. At this point, I don't know if they hit the house or not.
So the first suspect who you were detaining possibly fired a shot towards a neighbor's residence?
Possibly. And that's being investigated now that that scene is clear.
And that was a separate location from where you found this whole...
Well, I believe it was a house right in that vicinity.
Okay.
Yeah, I believe it was a neighbor's house.
And then the father, life-threatening condition, his condition, or where was he hit?
I would assume it's life-threatening. I haven't been told, and I don't know where he was hit.
How long of a time frame were you guys from shots fired to detaining him?
To getting him into custody, 4 hours, I would guess.
Which person? The second person?
The one that was hit.
Yes, yeah, about 3.5, 4 hours.
But we don't know his injuries. Or we don't know if they're...
We know he
has a gunshot wound.
I don't know how serious.
Do we know like how many shots they fired or how many times he was struck?
They shot enough to stop the threat. He put the gun down and fled back into the house.
Was there anyone else in the home? Wife, children?
No, he had a dog with him, that was it.
And then the one you first detained and then the one that got shot, both live at that residence?
I don't know. I don't know if they both live there or not.
Don't know that.
They were both in the residence, but I can't tell you if they reside there.
So the dad, there was no confusion of like someone breaking into his home?
No, there was no confusion. The police were, that he knew that it was law enforcement that was there. There was no question about that.
How long after you arrived did the first subject come out for you to detain, and then the dad come to get the gun?
So as soon as the officers got on scene, that first subject was in the garage. They saw him with the long gun. They started giving him verbal commands. He complied. He came out almost immediately. As he was coming out, the father came into view of the officers in the garage, and that's when he picked up the long gun, pointed it at those officers, and they shot him.
So just moments.
Yeah,
But
it wasn't long.
Doesn't seem like it was that long.
No,
Has there been any other cost of this residence in the past?
not that I'm aware of, but I don't have that. I can't tell you.
Could you spell both suspects' names?
Sure. The suspect who the officers shot, his first name is Offero Manalon, date of birth of 12/18 of 57. And I do not have the son's information currently.
And everything was contained to that 1100 block of Crest Ridge or whatever that was.
Everything was contained to that one house, one residence. Yeah.
Thank you, Undersheriff.
Yeah.